Donald Trump has released that partial speaker list for the GOP convention. Some interesting Republicans sitting out. So what's in store for us next week? Let's ask my titanium-plated party panel. Tonight it's Katherine Timpf. She's a National Review reporter and a correspondent on the Greg Gutfeld Show on the Fox News Channel. Gavin McInnes is here. He's pulling his ear and waving his glasses, saying, hi, everyone. He hosts the Gavin McInnes Show, and he's Talkie Mag's contributor, and good for them. Meghan McCain is also here, a Fox News contributor and no stranger to presidential politics. Welcome, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Glasses for everyone but Meghan, because you see 2020, especially in politics.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's talk about this a little bit. I know your dad's not going. We've talked about this in the past. He's in a huge re-election campaign, and he's got to focus his energy where he must. Who do you like? Who's going and not going?
Who do I like that's going? I like that Ted Cruz is going. I think his speech will be interesting because he hasn't endorsed Donald Trump, so he could come out swinging.
What's he going to do with that? I mean, that's a good point. Does he run for 2020? Does he try and do what Barack Obama did in 2004? Does he try and unify the party?
He might do what Ronald Reagan did at the Ford convention and set himself up for 2020. It'll be interesting if he officially denounces anything having to do with Donald Trump. I really like Ted Cruz, especially during this election, and if he remains a person who's not endorsing Donald Trump, I think it'll be fascinating politics.
He talked about it saying it was a battle between good and evil.
Yeah.
So that's a little awkward. He actually
to be there like,
hey, I know I said you were evil.
But this place is great. I love what you've done with it.
Though, after a sports game, it's not like the teams have to keep hating each other.
But he made it sound like it was like, like Lion, Witch in the Wardrobe type of stuff.
Yeah.
That's what he made it sound like.
Narnia.
Yeah.
So who's Aslan?
Oh, yeah, that lion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Ted?
Trump is the lion, really?
Yeah.
Isn't Trump the witch?
Isn't he?
And if Ted Cruz has created Narnia.
Yeah,
Trump is Narnia.
He's all of Narnia. Wow, and
yes,
everything
in
there.
Ted Cruz's mind, yes, but in reality, Trump is the lion.
Okay, so you actually like Ted Cruz, or Donald
I like
Trump.
Cruz,
you
too.
did. I know you were cruising with Ted earlier.
Cruising
I
with
understand
Ted.
that. But now you are on the Trump train. So of everyone on the panel, you should be most delighted by the speaker list. Who do you like?
I am super delighted by the speaker list, and I think that the fact that Trump seems to be leading the whole thing is an indication that anyone who is against Hillary has to grow up, put on their big boy pants, and come on aboard the Trump train. I know he's not perfect, but that's who we got. It's called an ultimatum.
Yeah, Mike Ditka not going, Sarah Palin not going. What do you make of the Palin snub?
I think it's fascinating. I thought she would be first on the list, but honestly, the speeches she's been making recently, I don't know if it actually helps him when she officially endorsed him. I mean, you played that clip as a joke earlier.
Yeah, it was a joke.
And I think that
They
right
were
now,
her words, but that's not necessarily the order in which they appeared originally, but they were still very fun to put together.
And right now, Donald Trump and his family are going to present themselves as president and the first family. They need to be taken seriously. This is very awkward for me to say because people automatically, I'm still a political analyst and I can look at it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
She was part of a failed campaign, and he doesn't want to be associated with anything having to do with failure or losing. And I think
then why did he have her? Why did he roll her out and supposedly make some sort of a generous deal with her in order to get her?
Because it was a really good dig at Ted Cruz at the time, because she basically king-made him when he was running for Senate originally, and at the time it was a really good dig into him. Honestly, he got what he needed out of her, and he doesn't need her anymore.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah,
that just
always
cuts
hurts
through.
when that happens.
Listen, it's politics. This is a dirty game.
It's also life.
Well, we're also assuming a lot of these people aren't going out of some sort of statement, but a lot of them weren't invited.
Yeah,
That's what
I'm assuming that she wasn't invited, but John Kasich.
She would show up to the opening of an envelope. She certainly would have gone had she been invited. And
yeah, we had a housewarming party. I'd never met her before, and she showed up with a lovely news casserole.
I like to get the shuttle station, whatever operator, a female and a female pilot. So sexist, no way.
And you thought that Tila Tequila should go?
I wanted Tila Tequila to go give a speech about she loves Trump, she loves the Earth is flat, and she wants to go talk about her flat Earth truther stuff.
Yeah.
That I would like.
Oh my gosh.
I remember when Shannon Doherty, if I'm not mistaken, attended the Republican convention in 1992, and I believe that she led the crowd in the not the national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance. Yes.
Tila Tequila?
No, Shannon Doherty at the height of 90210 in 1992.
I wonder if Tila Tequila.
I remember that, and the big takeaway was you have really uneven eyes. which was disappointing.
She has an asymmetrical face.
Yes. One eye is much smaller and in a different location.
And speaking of Tila Tequila, she has giant gerbil eyes.
Okay.
Yes, that's why tweens like her.
In all candidness, if you do some deep Google searching, there are pictures of me and Tila Tequila about 8 years ago hanging out, going out to dinner.
Were you friends?
We were friends.
Did she think the earth was round then?
What did you guys do when you went out? Did you imbibe?
This is back when I was still a party girl, and I used to go out a long time back when I was in my early 20s.
Right.
She was very nice. She seemed to take a little deep end pitch out of reality now, but I can't be too much of a hypocrite because people can Google that.
I'm definitely doing that.
So you like Earth is round Tila Tequila, but not Earth is flat Tila Tequila is another lady.
She used to be very nice and normal. I don't know what happened.
Believe it's 2016 and Mars is flat. Not that I think the Earth is flat, but what is this, like 1402? How is this a thing?
Yeah, no, but she's given up.
Come back.
She's given up on Tycho Brahe and Johannes Kepler.
When I knew her, it was like MySpace Shot of Love days.
I love Shot of Love with Tila Tequila.
Yeah, MySpace. She was a MySpace star.
It was MySpace, and it was originally it was like outreach for social media.
I think this topic has gotten a little bit diversified. Sorry, I don't mind.
Sorry, I like to bring up Tila Tequila when I can.
And I appreciate that more than you will know. I want you all to be part of the convention in every way possible. Perhaps you'll be there. Perhaps you'll.
I think we're all going to be there.
We're all going to be there, and we're going to be there together for you. And I don't want you to miss FBN's continuing live coverage of the Republican National Convention. It's Monday, July 18th through Thursday, July 21st. So please join us for every moment. And coming up, the party panel returns. Will millennials axe the two-party system? A new survey reveals some very startling insights into how the young people view the politics. And a little later, Justice Ruth Ginsburg backing down from her criticisms of Donald Trump, but not completely. Judge Jeanine Pirro joins me with an explanation and some vitriolic passion. Stay here. All right, a new survey. Welcome back, by the way. It's wonderful to have you. You look great tonight. A new survey says young people overwhelmingly think the two-party system has some major flaws. It is broken, ranging from fixable to seriously broken, you guys. The poll also shows widespread contempt for Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump among Americans aged 18 to 30. Our party panel is back. Katherine Timpf, Gavin McInnes, and McCain. So let's talk about this. 3/4 of the people surveyed by the new Gen Forward survey of young people think that the U.S. is falling behind and failing as a nation. Sounds like old people.
Yeah, I mean, there's a legitimate argument that this generation has a future that doesn't look as bright as any other generation previous to it, except, maybe World War II.
Yeah.
All that being said, millennials with Bernie Sanders, I'm 31, I'm an old lady, I've been through many election cycles.
You're not an old lady, you're cute as a button.
Yeah, well, grow up.
You've still got dewdrops from heaven in your hair, dear.
I'm very young and beautiful, I know. But I want to say grow up, because politics will break your heart every single time. I can remember Howard Dean, I can remember my father in 1999. There are a lot of revolutions that happen in political processes, especially during the primaries, when fringe candidates get a lot of momentum. He's not unique. Bernie Sanders isn't interesting. Talk to me in 4 years if he still has this power and influence that he does. And I think right now we just have the exacerbation of social media to see everyone's hysteria.
People are they're like, he could die, and they would still be like, he can still be president. It's rigged.
No,
the media.
That's after the movie was named after.
I think that's true.
Yeah,
that's
it was a movie about a dead guy, and they have to kind of keep him alive, and they take him water skiing and stuff because they have to make it seem like their boss.
I mean, I get it. I'm still not over Ron Paul. I was really into. I love Ron Paul. I went to a Ron Paul rally in D.C. when I was in college, and I was all hyped for freedom, and I'm still pretty hyped. No, he did not.
He did not, Gavin.
He did not.
Take it back.
He's still as spry and smart and attractive as ever.
He really is. He's very
attractive.
That guy beat Clay Aiken in an election?
He actually beat him with his fists. He was so upset by Clay Aiken's candidacy that he reanimated and punched him about the face and shoulders.
Zombies can't punch.
They really can't. If they bite you, it's problematic, but it's the punching that you really don't have to worry about at all. All right, 72% of Latinos, 67% of Asians, 62% of blacks want a third-party candidate. They're sick of Hillary and Donald, but especially Donald.
That 18 to 30 group in this infantilized world where the average video game player is 36 is really more like 12 to 24. And I don't care what 12 to 24-year-olds think. I come from Canada where we have, I think, a 37-party system. And no one has...
Is that better, though? I mean,
no,
do you think the multi-party system is better?
It's not.
Well,
I get that you're a spoiled brat, not you, but I get that they're spoiled brats and they go, I don't like the two-party system. I wish Trump was more academic. I wanted everything perfect. You're not my real dad. You're my stepdad. We've tried, if they had looked into it and tried the other way, they realized what you end up with is about 4 parties in the House that are all powerless and get outvoted on everything.
I would take 4 parties versus the 2 dum-dums we have right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, Kat?
Dum-dums.
Dum-dums, exactly right. That's an academic term that you can put in your syllabus and smoke it.
Yeah.
But we have it within our power to do that. I mean, Gary Johnson's polling at 11%. If he gets to 15%, he'll be on the debates.
I want Jill Stein up there, too, to challenge Hillary. She has been so aggressive in her...
Aren't we right-wing? Whatever happened to...
challenge Hillary.
This is like the Young Turks all over again.
How dare you compare me to them? How dare you?
All these esoteric... I get that young radicals want Gary Johnson, but aren't we supposed to be relatively normal?
I would love to see him on the debate stage.
He's a Republican governor of New Mexico.
Yeah. A very successful one.
Is your cravat too tight tonight, Gavin?
Who wasn't? Just, I'll have these discussions after you all vote for Trump and we get the president and we can move on.
Lord. Is she going to win?
I think so.
Hillary's going to win if you guys don't get off the pot.
You know what? Maybe if some people vote for Jill Stein, dingbat.
Oh, my God. What are you, 18-year-old me?
I'm not voting third party.
I am 18-year-old you with slightly more facial hair. You see it? Feels great. Go ahead, Meghan, last word.
Bernie Sanders fans are delusional. Move on. It's politics. Grow up. I'm with him.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Never Trumpers. Move on. Gary Johnson is the same as Bernie Sanders.
What about hashtag Hill
That's not the same thing. He's not the same as Bernie Sanders. Gary Johnson actually
did. They're both not winners. It's not going to happen. It's unfathomable.
But Bernie Sanders accomplished nothing the entire time.
Let's vote for the funds.
We're in a break because the clothes are coming off, the Jello's coming out. The party panel will return later to discuss another sad leftist, Elizabeth Warren, calling to probe the sharing economy. Oh, yeah, I'd like to give you a probe. But first, if the presidential election went to the Supreme Court, would Justice Ginsburg have to recuse herself? The answer may surprise you. Judge Jeanine Pirro joins me in moments. Stay here. Hi there. So glad you're here. Well, Elizabeth Warren, I have a hard time even saying her name. It's upsetting. She's taking a swing at the sharing economy, calling for a regulatory probe to determine if websites like Airbnb are shrinking housing options for long-term renters and raising prices, perhaps. The party panel is back. It's Katherine Timpf, Gavin McInnes, and Meghan McCain. So, Kat, let me ask you this.
Yes.
So, Airbnb... You are going to stay in an Airbnb very soon.
Yes, I am.
In a city where there's a major happening.
Yes.
Airbnb operates kind of like hotels.
Yeah.
Do hotels affect housing?
Right, no.
Exactly.
No, they don't. It's just like people like Elizabeth Warren, they said, hey, this thing's making a lot of money. We got to check into this and see what's going on here, because they can't regulate it the way they regulate everything, which is good. I get to stay 2 miles away instead of going to a hotel where my book's late. I had to be so far away or stayed somewhere with bed bugs. I don't like distance. I don't like bed bugs. And I don't want Elizabeth Warren probing anything in my Airbnb.
That's absolutely right. And I think that might be euphemism for something else, which we'll get into on a later show. But this is exactly what happens. You have something successful, a successful model like Uber.
Yeah.
And
I was going to bring up Uber.
Yeah, but Uber, I mean, one of the great things about Uber, and there are some flaws, absolutely, that the company is trying to work out. But one of the things about it is when you get out of the car, when you get into the car, you want to make sure you are as nice as possible so it doesn't affect your rating.
My rating
Very
is
much
so
like
low.
eBay.
My rating is so low.
What did you do?
I don't know why.
Did your cat have a tinkle in the backseat of an Uber?
No, I don't know what it is. I think it might be the vaping. Sometimes I get in trouble and then I get really upset. But I mean, it's really low. Like sometimes it takes me a while to get one. And I think I'm an okay gal. I don't really get it.
The problem with it too is, especially with Uber, I was in Austin right before they removed Uber from the city, and this is innovation. This is job creation.
Exactly.
One of the Uber drivers I spoke to was a mom with 4 kids, couldn't find a job any other way, and became an Uber driver and was making a decent amount of money. And I heard this story, and it's like Democrats want to talk about the crappy economy and there are no jobs being created, but when you do it on your own in a specific way, then you have a problem with it.
When
so you're cherry picking what jobs are allowed to be created.
It's not even cherry picking. I mean, they're picking on entire sectors that are beyond the reach of traditional government, and they can't stand it because it is all about control. They have to control every aspect of our lives with regulation, with taxes. They have to get their fingers in our pies.
And that mentality breeds a brain that not just hates capitalism, but doesn't get capitalism.
That's absolutely right.
Like where Catherine's going, the demand is bigger than the supply. So we go beyond the hotels and we get Airbnbs. Now Katherine can go. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to go.
And there are people who say, oh, you know what? I would be in Cleveland when, 200,000 people descend on my city. I'm going to rent out my apartment.
And that helps Cleveland, by the way. I don't know how many people would say, oh, you're in New York, I'd love to visit. And I go, well, we don't have room. But, a hotel is like $350 a night. And they go, oh, forget it. And since Airbnb appeared in New York, there's been a boon to the local economy. They have all these millennial tourists showing up.
People are actually making money. It's like they don't have to work for major corporations. And speaking of major corporations, this week Girls star and liberal icon Lena Dunham, she's a corporation unto herself. She put her weight behind a suggestion to strip guns from Jason Bourne movie posters. While she has since removed the post from her Instagram profile, she initially responded to a friend's suggestion of peeling off guns from Subway ads with, "Good idea, let's go." How do you think Lena Dunham would like it, Gavin, if people put clothing onto her during a nude scene of hers in Girls?
I like that she's chubby and nude all the time because it reinforces the fact that us men are not very picky at all. And I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers. You'd be surprised how libidinous we are. But as far as the gun thing goes, so we take the guns out of the posters. You know the movie is all guns, right? And all good movies are all guns. You know why? Because guns are awesome.
You know who took guns out of a movie, and this still pains me to this day? Matt Welch pointed this out. Steven Spielberg. He CGI'd the guns out of the end of E.T.
Really?
Yeah, when the cops have guns and they're going after the kids, like, well, that's not a very nice message. But Matt Damon just last week said that we need to confiscate all guns, and good job, Australia, for taking everyone's guns away. And now she wants to take his gun away.
I actually think all shootings are started by people who see a picture of a gun.
Yeah,
like these people are totally normal.
You just started a shooting right now, by the way.
They're going to see a picture of a gun. No, she's totally right. They're going to see the picture, and then there's going to be a mass shooting. So she's really handling this in a very practical way by calling for vandalism.
But also, Matt Damon has made a ton of money off of violent movies for, living in his whatever mansion in California or whatever. And you want to censor it at the same time because it doesn't go into your liberal ideology. The fact that the NRA is blamed for literally every single problem in this country, I take such umbrage with. Lena Dunham, who I'm not a fan of either, and I have my own issues with her liberal ideology, etc. But it is such a lens into the myopic view of liberals, East Coast liberals, West Coast liberals, and this is why Trump is popular right now as a direct result of people like Lena Dunham.
Yeah, who feel that they can speak for everyone, that they know best, do very superficial investigations, have no curiosity toward the other side, and ultimately come to faulty conclusions. Well, if you've seen friends, neighbors, and random pedestrians standing around taking pictures of nothing, like a bunch of Looney Tunes lunatics, they're probably playing Pokemon Go. The game has generated more than $14 million since its release, and it has shot up Nintendo stock just this week. They're up over 45%. I think that, Gavin, Pokemon Go,
my head.
I think it's wonderful. I think it's fantastic.
Really?
I love technology. I love that it's weird. I love that everyone's super into it. It's like the new Hamilton.
Okay, and I would agree with you if we were talking about people aged 12 to 13 and a half.
Look, I played it all weekend long, constantly, the whole weekend. I had an emotionally difficult weekend, and I loved it very passionately and intensely. But
did it help you through your emotional difficulty?
It did, but then it kind of fizzled out quickly. It was one of those like really intense, passionate, short love things. But it's really weird with the pictures. Like I was walking around and I was like taking a picture. I was catching a Bulbasaur, and like there was like a couple that was making out on the corner, and they thought I was photographing them. And I was like, I just gotta catch the Bulbasaur. Then I was like, oh God.
And they're like, they don't know what that
This is Saturday night, and you're out alone catching Bulbasaurs, and then the emotional turmoil continued. So mixed reviews.
I get frustrated when men of a certain age play these games, but women obviously it doesn't matter.
What if you play Pokemon Go?
Oh, have fun with your silly games and your knitting and whatever. Make a funny cake.
Make a funny cake and knitting. Got it.
That reminds me, I went to interview Rivers Cuomo from Weezer once, and he showed up early to the interview with knitting needles, and he was just knitting.
Oh, God, you should have taken both and just gone thunk into his chest.
God. It's like an example of like the man I'm least attracted to is a musician an emo musician who comes up knitting. It's like I'm like I reject you in every
I wish
form.
I could say the same.
No,
I really do.
Yeah, Kat is more the same. You should be going. I don't.
The sadder, the better.
Yeah. I don't have anything.
And you get a hat out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've only got 5 seconds. Go ahead.
I didn't play it. I don't think it's my highlight of my weekend is Skyping with Kat over or FaceTiming about our emotionally traumatic weekend.
We did.
Oh, you guys.
She helped me a lot.
Why should I call you guys on Saturday? All right. Well, thank you all so much. You too, Gavin. I mean, you can be part of the lady party next time. Coming up, Jill Stein. Speaking of lady party, yeah, she is rolling in donations following Bernie Sanders' Hillary Clinton endorsement. Catherine Ward joins me to say what damage the Green Party might do to Madam Secretary. Stay put.